Representative Talley, you will recognize.
Members, thank you so much for your attention.
Stand at ease for a moment. Members, please take your seats. Please take your conversations outside.
This is a historic day. As far as I know, and I've asked lots of people, this is the first time in the history of the House and that we have a father and son veterans of the day. Kerry, Chris, you will not find another group of people that don't love and respect veterans and police officers and the military. This group loves you. And so, Mr. Speaker, could we have the clerk read both citations?
Clerk will read.
Whereas Kerry Mills was born in Cushing, Oklahoma, and graduated from Cushing High School in 1978, later completing his bachelor's degree in agronomy at Oklahoma State University in 1983. And whereas Kerry joined the Oklahoma Army National Guard, started basic training in January 1986 at Fort Benning, Georgia, and completed advanced infantry training in May 1986. Then graduated from the Officer Candidate School at the Oklahoma Military Academy in August 1987, receiving his commissions as lieutenant in the Bravo Company of the 279th Battalion, 45th Infantry Division, stationed in Miami, Oklahoma, and eventually attaining the rank of First Lieutenant. And whereas Kerry enlisted in the Oklahoma Air National Guard in October of 1994, joining the 137th Airlift Wing as a C-130 crew chief at Will Rogers Air National Guard Base in Oklahoma City, and later become a C-130 flight engineer in the 185th Airlift Squadron. And in 2008, he transferred to St. Joseph, Missouri to join the 139th Airlift Wing 180th Airlift Squadron at Rosecrans Air National Guard Base. And whereas Kerry flew in numerous humanitarian missions around the globe over his 36 years of service and received 5 aerial achievement medals for over 125 combat missions during his deployments to Afghanistan, Iraq, Kuwait, and various other locations in Europe, Southwest Asia, South and Central America, and Africa, logging a total of 4,543 flight hours. And he has been awarded numerous medals, including the Meritorious Service Medal, the Air and Safe Accommodation Medal, the Air Force Achievement Medal, and the National Defense Service Medal. And whereas Kerry has been married to his wife Glenda for 40 years and has 5 children, and he moved back to his hometown of Cushing after retiring from military service last year. And whereas it is the great privilege of the Oklahoma House of Representatives to recognize the outstanding service Kerry Mills has provided to his country both in war and in peace.
Raise your hand, Kerry.
Thank you. The clerk will read the citation for Chris.
Whereas Christopher Mills was born in October of 1994 in Miami, Oklahoma, the son of Kerry and Glenda Mills, and brother to 4 sisters, and grew up with his father serving in the Air National Guard. And whereas Chris joined the Oklahoma Army National Guard in 2015 and completed his training at Fort Benning, Georgia, graduating January 2016, and was assigned to the Delta Company, 179th Battalion, 45th Infantry Brigade, combat team stationed in Ponca City. And whereas Chris volunteered for a deployment to Afghanistan with Alpha troops in the 180th Cavalry Regiment out of Durant and trained up at Fort Bliss, Texas, before mobilizing to Brigham Air Base, then flew into Kabul, Afghanistan on December 25th, 2017. And during the same time, his father, Kerry, was in Kuwait serving the last deployment of his lengthy military career, and the two were able to meet up overseas at Camp Afghan in Kuwait, where Chris was demobilized back home from Afghanistan. And whereas Chris was awarded several medals from his service, including the Army Commendation Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, the Afghanistan Campaign Medal with the Campaign Star, the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, and the NATO Medal. And whereas Chris promoted to the E5 in February of 2020 and received his honorable discharge in the summer of 2021. And following his military service, he returned to his father's hometown to go back to work for the family business as a foreman of a crew doing maintenance on oil storage tanks in Cushing, Oklahoma, the pipeline crossroads of the world. And whereas it is the great privilege of the Oklahoma House of Representatives to recognize the outstanding service Kerry Mills has provided to his country, both in war and in peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes. Two things. Their family, would you all stand up in the audience up here, please? And also, thank you. Yeah. Chris, thank you for your sister. Kerry, thank you for your daughter, because she is the greatest LA in the world.